Good evening, good evening. Bruce Gas here. And we're here to talk about Larry Holmes, man. You know, when you heard this
Flying up. Those are my words exactly. In the Morelos Mountains, campesinos are planting their fields. Where the ghost of Zapata rides a horse that can still outrun the wheel. High in the sky above and clear outside is the free Mexican Air Force flying tonight. Way up there in Kentucky, a cowgirl is cooling her heels, remembering that God gave us herbs and the fruits of the field. But a criminal law that makes outlaws go seeking light. Make the free Mexican Air Force Mescalito riding his white horse. The free Mexican Air Force is flying tonight, flying so high. Yeah, how strange and innocent herb causes money to burn. They'll jail you or kill you for making those rich fat cats squirm. Nothing can stop my vision is clearly in sight. And the free Mexican Air Force is flying tonight. While we smoking colitas, federales are loading their guns, blowing smoke from their six-shooters, spinning their barrels for fun. Contrabandistas, banditos of light, we're the free Mexican Air Force and we're flying tonight. And high in the hills we are harvesting sweet sensimilla. The law wants it all, but they think the wild we can free us. Freedom for us is a prison for the rulers of might. That's why the free Mexican Air Force, Mescalito riding his white horse. The free Mexican Air Force is flying tonight. Everybody flying so high. Yeah, yeah. Flying tonight.
Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Bruce Gas over here with you. Tuesday night fights, and we're here to talk about a legend. In fact, we call him a June bug because he always seems to be putting on some tremendous fights in the month of June. And we're talking about Larry Holmes. And we're talking with my brother George Jack over here, joining the party as usual, my brother. Salute.
Oh yeah, Tuesday night, baby.
So George, I know you're a road warrior. Before we start talking about Larry Holmes, bro, I hope that music's not too loud in the background.
No, sounds good.
Sounds okay.
Yeah.
Volume's okay. I don't want to drown out your golden throated honey voice, my brother. So man, this weekend, man, we got the fight we've been all waiting for at the light heavyweight division. Your man Joe Smith against my man Artur Beterbiev. I'm not gonna say my man because I got no dogs in this fight, bro. I'm hoping for a good fight, man. And tell me now, tell these people where you've been spending a little bit of time lately, man.
Well, I got to produce. There was a 2-part series on ESPN for that fight, and I got to spend about a week in Joe Smith's camp in the beginning of May. So, these are two of the hardest punchers in the sport, and this fight, if anything, no matter how long it goes, I can't see it not being exciting because we had Tank Davis and Rolly Romero. Everyone thought that was just going to be like a Hagler Hearns, and it wasn't. They were tactical and they took their time. Joe Smith Jr. and Artur Beterbiev, they fight one way. They destroy. That's what they do. They come forward. So, however long it lasts, I think it's going to be an exciting fight. And Beterbiev should be the favorite. He is the favorite. Joe Smith Jr. is usually the underdog, but Beterbiev has been dropped twice in his career. He's been hurt, but man, he's 17-0, 17 knockouts. So I just want a great fight.
Now, being inside Joe Smith's camp, how does he look to you, George? And you've been around professional fighters all your life, bro.
He looks great. Joe Smith looks great. He is in fantastic shape. I mean, he works hard. He's gonna step into the ring in 100% physical condition, which he is for all of his fights. And he's been with Jerry Capobianco, his trainer, for his whole career. Those guys have been together for like 12, 13 years. So they know how big a fight it is. I think his mindset is good. And he's got that kind of style where he's not going to freeze up in a big moment because his game is to throw power punches. That's what he's going to do. So
I'll tell you, we've been having a lot of anticipations in the last few weeks. And nothing has panned out to the fight that we want. Man, this fight, I'm hoping for it, brother. I am really hoping for it, man.
Yeah, you want to talk about last weekend, Edgar Berlanga?
Oh, sure, man, sure. That was, bro. Berlanga, I don't know what to say, man. He reminds me of a guy that I used to watch a few years back. His name was Jose the Threat Barrett.
Yeah.
Remember him?
Yes, I do. And Marlon Starling took him apart. Yeah.
And well, that's the thing. He hasn't faced anybody like Marlon Starling. I can only imagine if he would get in there with
Benavidez.
Benavidez.
I mean,
career suicide.
He's not on that level. And then he pulled. He bit the guy in the 7th round, and he hasn't been suspended by the New York Athletic Commission.
I can't believe nothing's happened like that. The referee was right there. Maybe he didn't see it, but he saw the expression on. I'm so bad with names, George.
Angulo.
I when I saw it, I said Alexis Aguayo. What did they do? Dig him out of the grave? But man, but he put up a hell of a fight, and I had it a real close fight, man.
It was much closer than the judges had it.
It was. Let's face it, they're under pressure. It's Puerto Rican Pride Festival Day. You've got 10,000, 12,000 crazy Puerto Ricans probably been drinking all afternoon like I would have been, man. And you got to take that into consideration.
Well, he should still at least be suspended for at this point because you can't I know it's boxing, but you can't bite. You can't bite someone.
I would say disqualification minimal right there. A bite. I mean, dude, the Mike Tyson $3 million bite still resonates throughout the world.
Right.
That was just that was bad for boxing. And like you said, man, the commission hasn't done anything yet. I'm sure they will. I really think that the pressure's on. They have to do something. Otherwise, it just kind of throws the rule book out the window. I mean, that's probably the dirtiest thing you can do in the ring.
And there was just no reason for it. I mean, but Berlanga really has regressed since he started facing better fighters. What happened to the power? He had all this power against these third level guys, and now he doesn't even hurt anyone. The last 4 guys he's fought, it's kind of bizarre. And he has not been in the ring with a guy like Marlon Starling, like you said. He hasn't been in the ring with someone like that. If he was, he would have lost.
Yeah, I guess the only thing for him to do is go back to the drawing board. But see, I thought his attitude needed an adjustment, because when the fight was over, he threw that headbutt. He said some of the words I'm trying not to say anymore.
Right.
I mean, this is a professional. This is your living. You and the brother are making your bread for the night. I mean, dude, if he wasn't there, you wouldn't be making what you're making. And just to let your emotions take over like that, that's not the way a professional handles the situation. And your forerunner, Sugar Ray Leonard, he could turn it on and turn it off in the middle of a fight. So I mean, to me that's what really separates the greats from maybe Berlanga will be kicked to the side of the road now. I don't know, man. I don't know where he's going to go from here.
Right. He's young. I mean, he's only 25, so I don't know. I mean, he has a new trainer, so we'll see where he goes. But speaking of the Puerto Rican Day Parade, this isn't the Puerto Rican Day Parade, but Carlos Ortiz, former great. He has gotten. I haven't seen much on boxing websites about him passing away. He was 85 years old, just passed away on Monday. Great 2-time champion from Puerto Rico.
He was the first WBA and WBA lightweight champion, the first unified. And I mean, it's just rich in history. I saw that. My friend Connor Loco, who I saw in the chat a few minutes ago, man, he pointed that out to me. I didn't know it, because, like you said, it's not on pages. And that's a sad historical event in boxing. But it's sad because all the guys we talk about, we're all on the north side of the Grim Reaper's sickle, as they say. And
but that's why this show is important in shows like this, because we talk about now. Larry Holmes is not a forgotten fighter, but we know the history of the sport, and we love it, and we respect it, and we shine a light on some forgotten fighters like Carlos Ortiz. Should have been celebrated at the end of his life, and you barely saw anything about him.
Hey, let me shout out who's in here tonight. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry I'm neglecting. I'm the fan, man. But anyway, man, I'm so excited because we're here to talk about Larry Holmes in the month of June. But let me give a shout out, man. Punching Bag Skunk, bro. You were here early. I hope you're still here, brother. Salute, man. Carlos Mendoza, my bro. Thanks for coming by. Mr. Pads, always on the scene. Thank you, my brother. W Right Side, man. Salute to you, man. Salute to you. Carl Hunter Hansen, my brother. A crocodile hunter from Australia. Shout out to Carl, and man, best wishes out for your daughter, man. I hope she's doing better, brother. Con Shawnery, my man. Shout out to you, bro. Salute. Who else come in this joint tonight, man? Anybody else here?
Looks like you got just about everybody.
Yeah, it's still early. That's why I kind of like to loosen things up with a little of chit chat and get a little buzz cooking on, man. Because man,
Where is Mad Chad?
Mad Chad told me he was going to be here. I don't know, bro. I talked to Mad Chad yesterday. He may come in late. I can't pin anybody down. Nobody pins me down. I'm lucky, George, you come in here, because otherwise I'd just turn that live on and I'd start smoking and talking, and who knows where I'd end up at 9 o'clock, man, Mr. Mechanical, my brother, shout out to you, man. Thanks for coming by. Let's start at the beginning, my brother George. What's your first memory of Larry Holmes?
Probably the Kenny Norton fight. I think I was 9 when he fought him, and
And
um,
that was a great fight.
yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know much, but I do remember that
Oh,
fight,
I
and
understand.
I've obviously seen it. Is that the
That was
bat phone?
a phone call. A hang up must have been a cranker.
Is it
Yeah,
Larry
just
Holmes?
it might have been. I've been trying to reach out to all these cats, man. You know,
But yeah, the Norton fight is the one I remember. But then, what I remember most about him is just being he was the dominant heavyweight champion when I was a kid. You know, he just didn't lose. He went 12 years or something like that without losing a fight, and he had some tough ones. Now, I wasn't happy when he beat Ali. Which nobody was. He wasn't even happy about that. But that's what I remember him as, the dominant heavyweight champion when I grew up.
nope. 1978 to 1985, Larry Holmes ruled. He had the WBC title. Shout out to the Jab Jamboree, Jeff Lucietta, Andrew Charles, man. Thank you, cats, for coming in here, man. I'm talking to George, and you know we're celebrating Larry Holmes because see, Larry Holmes, like I said, man, heavyweight champion, and you know we all talk about undisputed out there. We all talk about unified. Larry Holmes was never in his career. He never had more than one belt, and Larry Holmes actually legitimized the IBF heavyweight championship belt. They gave it to him. He threw the WBC belt away. He didn't want to rematch Tim Witherspoon. He didn't want anything to do with Greg Page. He said, no. I'm the champion. And Larry was a guy. Once he realized he could get away with his shit, nobody was pushing Larry around. You know, Larry was calling the shots. But yeah, from 1978 until 1983, he got rid of the WBC. And the IBF gave him their inaugural heavyweight title. He had that till 85 when he fought Spinks. And he had freaking 19 title defenses against killers, George.
What a career. What a career. And that Norton fight, we just passed the 44-year anniversary from Larry Holmes becoming a champion. And he came around in he had a tough act to follow. Anyone would have. But when you follow Muhammad Ali, you know, it was tough. He said it. It was tough for him because people didn't like him because he wasn't Ali. Then he faced Ali and beat him, and people didn't like him even more. Who had the personality of Muhammad Ali, though? So it was really unfair. The media was sort of unfair to him. But a great career. Great fight.
I grew up during that career, and you're so right. He was in Ali's shadow. People said he was an Ali clone. They used to call him Peanut Head. You know, Ali gave him that nickname, and he didn't like that. And I don't blame him. But he had a chip on his shoulder, and he went in there, and bro, he didn't walk out of the ring with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah,
he was beating everybody. That fight with Ken Norton. Yeah, why don't we throw a fight on in the background here while we're chilling? Uh-oh. Somebody just came in here, man, and it says the Eastern Assassin. I think it's the Eastern Assassin. Let's not say who it is, man. Let's see if it's my bro, the third wheel over here. Mad Chad, is that you, my brother?
I was gonna write Eastern Assassin, the Eastern, ERN, but
right.
It wouldn't be, Eastern Pennsylvania. And but shout out to the Larry Holmes fan club, right? My God, did I despise that dude? I didn't like him. I think because you're a young kid, and like I think he lost so much of his. How's everybody doing for starters? Hey, how's everybody doing?
We're doing better now that you're here.
Good to have you back. Good to have you back on Tuesday Night Fights, my brother, Mad Chad. You can do some talking while I do some token. How about that, bro?
No, just fun stuff. What a fighter!
Yoda Crouch out there too. I'm sorry. I'm just going to shout them out when they come in, bro, because I appreciate the cats that come in here and listen to a bunch of old fucking claw huggers like us sitting here and talking about Larry Holmes, man. So I got to shout the chat room out. Go ahead, bros. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. As the Green Holmes.
No, what a fighter. I have him on my Mount Rushmore at times. He's one of the greatest fighters in my, I'm 52, the greatest, I just think back as a kid, he was one of the most impressionable fighters. He looked the part. You know, and I remember it was early. It wasn't media and stuff, but there was actually footage of him running over a car, like in a suit with, you know, nice shoes on, attacking a fighter. Like, Larry Holmes was the Eastern assassin for real. There was no hype about this man. He fought all the best fighters of the time, and he put on a show. I mean, you're talking about the sweet science when he could move. I mean, when Larry was in his prime, he had some beautiful footwork, and like we all know, arguably the greatest jab that we've ever saw or if anybody's ever witnessed in the world of boxing.
Yep.
I mean, and what a jaw. He could get hit. He could recover so quick. He could play possum with Snipes, with Witherspoon. He really got, you know, and he was so smart. His ring IQ was just paramount. He was just right off the charts, God-given talent. Shout out to Larry Holmes. He's still doing well, right, Bruce? He was at the Hall of Fame up there. And
Yes, he was.
I mean,
Yes, he was, man. Larry Holmes
shout out. Yeah.
72 years old, bro.
A legitimate all-time great.
By 5 years. I was chasing him his whole career. And he's 72 years old, and he's still mixing it up. We just saw a clip of him at the it was a fundraiser. It was the Iran Barkley, and Punch Skunk Boxing was there. He did some filming out there, and man, Larry Holmes, Jerry Cooney, Tim Witherspoon, Ray Mercer, they're joking, They hug each other, and there's this one cat there. It looked like Kurt Cobain. I'm saying, who is this guy? Big guy. Lou Severisi. He's got the street blonde hair.
Bunch of them, right?
Oh man, it just brought a smile to my face when I see those guys together, and they're just joking with each other and laughing around. Oh, bro!
One of the great stories from the sport is the fact that Larry Holmes and Jerry Cooney became such good friends because that fight was as racially charged a fight as I've ever seen in my lifetime. And they literally hated each other for a lot of different reasons. It was black versus white. And now those guys they're legitimately great friends now. And you love to see that. And I love seeing those guys together and hear them talking about each other now, 42 years after they fought, or 40 years after they fought.
Well,
it's a great
I'll
thing.
tell you, we got a few fights we're going to put on, but I'm going to put this is the 15th round of Ken Norton and Larry Holmes. Now this they say it was some people say this was one of the greatest heavyweight fights, action from beginning to end. I got somebody else that just came in the building here. Let me check and see. Oh no, I'm sorry, man. I'm seeing things behind the ring here. I'm seeing my the screen that I'm sharing. So anyway, man, this was George. This is a fight you said you remember in your induction to Larry Holmes, man.
I do. I sure do.
Tell me what you remember about the 15th round here, bro.
It's a round that I still watch every couple of months. Just that round. After 14 rounds, I mean, these guys, they both the title was on the line in the 15th round, and they both went at it in the back and forth. It was like a movie, like you see the Rocky movies where one guy's hitting, the other guy's coming back. That's how this round was. These guys, they were exhausted. Larry Holmes had a torn bicep. Kenny Norton was aging, but you know, he was finally heavyweight champion of the world after his long career, all his disappointments. And this 15th round was amazing for both guys. It was a great fight and a great round.
Great round, man. So much history too, like you're saying. This was Ken Norton's only defense of his title. He was awarded the title via a 15-round decision over Jimmy Young. There you go, my bro. There you go.
Yeah, that was he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated before the Holmes fight. And he's no,
guy, I'm sorry, George. Put that up one more time. Let's get a screenshot on that. I'm forgetting my my duties as a producer here. Let me get my mouse up here.
You know, he's be champion without winning the title in the ring. They gave him the belt. Go. And that was it. That was it. June 12th, 1978 is the date of this Sports Illustrated, but
I got one I found too here, bro. That's
man, boy, Larry put up a good fight. Way past his prime. Way past his prime.
Way past his prime.
And put up a great fight against Evander.
Some say the greatest round in the world, bro. Check this one out, man. In heavyweight boxing history, Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Watch the left hand Ken Norton lands right at the beginning of the round.
Look at that, round 15. You don't see that anymore.
Oh, you don't.
Matt Chad, did you watch this fight live?
Same gloves too. Same gloves. I did watch this. I did watch this live. Now this was Norton got creamed by Cooney after this, or is this?
Yeah,
After this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I say way after this, but man, they fought so often and so quick.
So, right.
Way after this was 2 years, right?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, look, Ken Norton. I mean, this fight was.
And what year is this? What year is this? I can't remember. I don't think I watched this live.
78.
Yeah, no, I was 9 years old.
This was.
I don't remember it.
This was June 9th. Today is the 14th. 5 days ago, from 44 years ago around.
44 years. Yep.
Damn. And look at this, and look at Ken Norton pressuring Larry Holmes in the 15th round. People thought Larry Holmes was out of it the first minute of the round, and man, just watch Larry's recuperative powers. And Ken Norton, this is Rock'em Sock'em Robots right here.
Mills Lane in the ring. Boy, you got to feel for Kenny Norton. A lot of people think he was robbed in that third Ali fight. You know, he had a couple cracks at the title, but
well, like I said, he was awarded the title via his victory over
Jimmy Young.
Because Leon Spinks didn't want to fight Ken Norton.
Yep.
He relinquished the title that he won from Ali, and that split up the heavyweight, the undisputed. Oh look! Oh my God! Look at these. Fuck! Oh man!
Larry Holmes with the pony sneakers.
Look at Sylvester Stallone with those wide collars, bro. He's sitting out there.
Yeah, that's a sweet collar, man.
I'll tell you, man. I had one of those, George.
Oh. I mean, at this point, it's just all heart. You know, I mean, they're exhausted. They can't move.
Norton wanted to keep it. Larry Holmes wanted it. And I think Davey Pearl's the referee. Yep. Is that Davey Pearl? I'm not sure.
That's Mills Lane.
That's Mills Lane? Wow.
Yeah.
Looked like he had hair on his head.
I know.
No, that's not Mills Lane. Is it?
Yeah.
It's bouncing around like, wow, he's got hair on his head. Damn. What a round. But see, on that same card, man, let me show you something. Let me get this out of here.
And that was a split decision for Larry Holmes.
Yep. A split decision. It seems like all Ken Norton's title fights were 1 point.
Well,
you know, unless we go to George Foreman.
I was gonna say, except for Big George.
Except for Big George, but that was this card right here. And
Jerry Cooney, didn't Cooney take Norton out and won?
Yeah, after this.
Yeah, but that wasn't a title fight though.
Right.
Norton had that glass jaw. When it came to punches, certified punches, I think you could count on one hand how many rounds Ken Norton lasted against the Killers.
Ernie Schaefer's, Jerry Cooney.
Yep. But see, on this undercard, you see Jimmy Young against Osvaldo Ocasio.
Ocasio.
And then you got
cruiserweight champ.
Alfredo Evangelista. Alfredo Evangelista ended up being Larry Holmes' first title defense.
Yep.
And then on this card there was a big upset. Jimmy Young was the number one contender, and he got upset by Ocasio. Ocasio eventually went on to become a cruiserweight champion. He was the inaugural WBA cruiserweight champ, the first one, which is now there's probably been 30, 40, who knows how many. But I mean, this was a time where people didn't want to accept the cruiserweight division. But anyway, Ocasio beat Jimmy Young, so he was Larry Holmes' second title defense, and that was an interesting little fight, man. Let me see if I can find that. that kind of showed Larry Holmes was a little more than than just a jabber. You know, people were saying, where's his power? Let's see if we can find it in this fight here, man.
Larry Holmes' second title defense.
Larry's second title defense. And what we were saying is, when's he going to fight somebody? When's he going to fight somebody? But Larry always kind of took the best paydays he could get. Larry was a businessman. Eastern Pennsylvania, Larry worked hard all his life. He had to drop out of high school. Not even high school. 7th grade, he had to drop out because his father, he had 12 children, and his father couldn't stay with the family. He would go to Connecticut and come see the family once every 2 months. So Larry had to go out and make some shkarol. Larry was working in a car wash. Larry was loading trucks. But man, you know, Larry was he didn't have the silver spoon in his mouth, is what I'm saying, you know?
No, and Easton, when I lived in Jersey for almost my whole life, and Easton was only about an hour away from where I grew up. So a few times I drove through Easton just to see all the Larry Holmes businesses. And he's still there. He was there then. All these businesses, he owned just so much of the town of Easton.
Last time I looked, he employed over 200 people.
Yeah.
In his various businesses. He has restaurants, a nightclub, fitness centers. So I mean, Larry is a smart man. He's never going to go back to where he came from. I think that was probably one of Larry's biggest driving factors in his life. But this fight, man, I remember seeing Larry Holmes and saying, this guy's got some power. He's not. When he fought Ken Norton, I'm saying, how come he's not hurting Ken Norton? Ken Norton gets hurt when he gets hit, but not in this case. So it was, this fight, Ozzy George Ocasio too. He had a draw with Michael Dokes. George, just for the hell of it, take a quick look at Ozzy Ocasio's box record, and look at the fighters that he fought.
Yeah, you know, I can remember. Just it seemed like he fought everyone, and he was a small heavyweight, like you said. He was a cruiserweight.
He ended up being a cruiserweight. Yeah.
Right.
B&B Boxing, my brother. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for stopping by, bro.
I mean, Ocasio fought Carl the Truth Williams, Mike the Bounty Hunter, Lennox Lewis, Bruce Seldon, Tyrell Biggs, Ray Mercer, Evander Holyfield, Dwight Muhammad Qawi. Wow.
Wow is right, huh? I just wanted to share that one with you, man. And everybody.
Wow. And he went 8 rounds with a young Lennox Lewis back in 1990. It was an 8-round decision for Lennox. But
bro, I mean, this is a journeyman, gold-plated journeyman.
And he didn't get knocked out.
I believe this was his 14th fight, undefeated, and they throw him in there with Larry Holmes. But Larry shows him that he's a cruiserweight. He's not a heavyweight.
I'm glad you asked me to look at this box rack because he beat Jimmy Young twice before he fought Larry Holmes.
Yes. Well, I mentioned Jimmy Young was the number one contender. I mean, isn't that kind of like my eye-opening when you see somebody like that who maybe you read him in a magazine and name it, but then you'd look into his record and it's like, look, whatever happened to the boxers today? Why don't they enrich themselves? Look at the pedigree this guy has. Look at his resume, bro. That's Brown University stuff.
And you can see you can see that he's a cruiserweight. He's smaller than Larry Holmes. And at this point, no one knows how great Larry Holmes is because this is only his second title defense. So
yeah, second defense, right?
You know, people aren't sold on Larry Holmes yet at this point in his career, but they would be sold.
No, and they're still regretting Larry Holmes because he beat the beloved Ken Norton, who Ali's, physically, esoterically passed the torch to.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden Ken Norton is not in the driver's seat anymore, and they got this arrogant Larry Holmes who's trying to look like Muhammad Ali. And man, the poor guy just had He had the deck was stacked against him, bro.
And Ocasio's 207 pounds. He doesn't even look that big. He doesn't.
No.
He doesn't look like he's over 200 pounds. Holmes was only 214 for this fight. I mean, that was Holmes' weight, 214, 217. That's when he was in his prime.
6'3". Holmes was not a big man.
Right. Well, it's funny.
Who's six bigger than Holmes?
Big. It's crazy, but he was pretty big for back then. Like Ali was 6'3", 6'4", and now 6'3", you're a little guy. Like people consider Usyk a little guy, even though he beat the big guy when they fought last time. Hey, look who slid in.
I hear you, man. G5, my brother. Salute, man. Salute.
G5.
Yo, what's going on, my brother Brucey?
Hey, the fucking gang's all here, man.
Yeah, what's going on, George? What's going on, man? Roll it up as we speak. Yes, Lord.
G5, I was checking your show out the other day. I don't know what day it was, but I turned you on in the morning. It was like 9 o'clock. I went to do some stuff. At about noon, you were still on YouTube. It was like some 5, 6, 7. What was that about?
One of them the other day, it was like 9 hours and 18 minutes. I don't plan these lives. You know, luckily I have I'm afforded the time and the my job. I can do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm moving around all day, you know, so I'm always active. So rather than being stationary in front of a computer and stuff, you know, I use my tablet, which functions like a computer because it's a Mac. Right. So anything I need to do at work, I do it on my tablet. So, you know, I just go live and man, started like around 6:30. And one of them, hell, I did the 9 hour. It went through my whole fucking work shift. When I got off of work, well, I started an hour early than my shift. So by the time I got off about 3:30, about 3 something, I think, give or take, I had got off. Man, I just go with the movement of my people. You know what I'm saying? My chat, like they run my page. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
because you can't plan like a 10 hour. You can't plan a 10-hour show. It just has to kind of come natural.
You know, ideal to swing around, and you know we'll hit on it and talk about it, and then end up one talking point. We was on it for like 2.5, 3 hours. You know, so it's just like I'm all for good dialogue. You know, I allow everybody to speak their piece.
PGH,
and, you know,
PGH Big Dog, shout out to you, bro. I gotta get him G5 or I forget, man. I'll tell you, man. I gotta get
you good, man. You good.
Tonight, bro. I've been holding it down, man. You know, I don't want George to get excited and disappear, bro. So I haven't been doing any tokers over here. And now my memory's getting a little bit lapsed. I can't remember some of my good Larry Holmes stories. But
oh well, let me shut the hell up. Let's talk
about
Larry.
You keep going. I need you in that chat and George to talk it up a little bit so I can do a few tokers over here, bro.
Well,
I'm rolling up.
Tell you guys?
Go ahead.
Did Bruce tell you we're doing an 11-hour Larry Holmes show tonight. So strap in, man. We've only been on for 39 minutes, so we got about 10 more hours to go.
You know something.
Hey,
that wouldn't be impossible.
Good. Y'all pass out. I keep it going.
That wouldn't be impossible to do a fucking
I got
Larry Holmes show.
As long as you keep running, I got Nighthawks that'll come in and keep it. What's the topic?
Cool. Larry. Bro, he was as famous as Madonna, Cher. When you can mention somebody, Elvis, you mention him one name and you know who it is. Larry. Bro, that's all you had to say back in the 70s and the 80s. That said it all, man. It was one word, Larry Holmes, heavyweight champion of the world. And like I said, he was never unified, never undisputed. He didn't care about the belts. He was the man. Nobody asked, what's he, WBA, WBC, IBF? They didn't give a fuck. He was Larry Holmes, the heavyweight champion of the world. And that's all that needed to be said. And bro, I would love to see that happen today.
Yeah, Aussie's fucked. Aussie has no answers for this fucking job.
No, he's got none. You can see it, and he knows it too.
That's such a prime jab too, man. And Larry would drop a right just as fast as that jab. He probes with it, and all of a sudden, boom! Before you even know what it's doing.
It's kind of what Shakur was doing with Valdez, that same type of distance in probing. You just hold that fucking get your distance. Holmes used to do it a lot.
I've seen the referee bang it down when it's
Yep.
out too long. Our Cosmo just got
Larry wasn't the Godfather. He was the jab father. Beautiful, excellent, consistent, powerful, stiff jab, man.
And
Change
he also had
levels with it.
He used that thumb too. He dislocated a lot of eyeballs. He caused a lot of detached retinas. They sewed the thumb. Everlast made new gloves almost exclusively because of Larry Holmes. He used to thumb. Look what he did to Ernie Shavers, man.
Yeah. Well, you know what else Larry Holmes had is something you can't teach. He had heart because he got dropped by guys. We talked about Ronaldo Snipes and Ernie Shavers. The way he got dropped, when Ernie Shavers would drop you, you were done. And Holmes got up, and most of those times Holmes got knocked down, he was coming back at the end of the round. You can't teach a guy to have heart. And Larry Holmes had all the skills. I mean, he had everything, but he didn't have the personality of Ali, and he really took a lot of heat because of that. And it was tough for him earlier in his career. And I think he didn't like the media very much because people unfairly compared him to Ali.
And I never rooted for Larry to win. I always wanted him to lose. All those fights, man. When he fought Weaver, Witherspoon, even Ocasio, I didn't like Larry Holmes. And then when he beat Ali, I mean, it was sad. It was sad reality. It hit me, but it was reality. It kind of got me with I can't fall in love with a fighter. I can't give myself to a boxer like that. It's a sport. There's a winner, there's a loser, and that's the way it is. And I kind of lost my I was never a fanboy after that. Maybe I was for Ali, but even Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, bro, I was not a fanboy. Tay, shout out. Thank you for coming by, man. Thank you for coming by, sister. I could have watched that. I call everybody man. I call my wife man all the time. She's like, man. Sorry, babe. I say sorry, bro. Bro. I say, man.
That Ali fight. I still can't watch the Holmes Ali fight. I just can't. It's hard to watch that, especially now when that Muhammad Ali medically should have not been in that ring that night.
I have to go get a bud. Hang on a second.
And to have him thrown in there like that.
Thank God Howard Cosell wasn't calling the fight. He would have died because he retired after Tex Cobb beating Larry. Put on Tex Cobb. Cosell said, "I've seen enough."
Yeah, that was
that was brutal. That Ali, I mean, the beating that he took, and then he fought again against Berbick. Berbick had Holmes buzz pretty good, right? Berbick had it Holmes hurt.
Well, Berbick is the first guy that because Holmes had knocked out, I don't know, like 7 or 8 he had 7 or 8 knockouts in his first 7 or 8 title defenses, and Berbick went the distance with him. Holmes beat him pretty handily, but Berbick was tough.
Tough.
But man, poor Ozzy Ocasio here.
And crazy as shit.
Berbick, well, that's the Larry Holmes match that you talked about when Holmes jumped off the car and kicked Trevor Berbick.
That was Berbick because Berbick was a crazy bastard. Yeah, Berbick had a mouth on him. Berbick said things about Larry Holmes' wife.
Yeah.
Trevor Berbick, very violent death. He was killed with a crowbar by his nephew in front of a church in Jamaica, bro. I mean, the guy was nuts. He was incarcerated for assault on a minor. I mean, he was a whack job. And Larry Holmes, like you said, in full suit and tie, he jumped over the cars. He gave Trevor Berbick a flying drop kick, tried to beat the shit out of him. Did beat the shit out of him in a title defense, slapped him around. In fact, Larry even said he hit him with the open glove. He didn't want to knock him out. He just wanted to slap him around. Let me shout out to EMZID. Shout out to you, my bro. Thanks for coming by. Kenneth Johnson, man. What about me? Thank you guys for coming in. We're just talking about the great Larry Holmes. I got G5 up here, I got Mad Chat up here, and I got my brother George Jakovic. So we're watching some Larry Holmes fights, man. And man, Larry Holmes, he was a constant in my life. He was when I remember heavyweight champions. I remember Ali. Ali, he was the man. Ali, we ride and died with Ali. But Larry Holmes came over after. You know, you couldn't ignore him. Larry Holmes was beating everybody. I wanted him to get beat, but nope. If Holmes didn't beat you, the guy that fought Larry Holmes beat you. He fought a lot of guys who we thought were unworthy, but these guys all beat the number one contender. And Larry, that was the way it went. Don King just wanted. If you won, Don King got you a title shot.
Cosell didn't call the Ali fight, if I recall.
I think he did.
Maybe I thought he retired after the Tex Cobb fight.
The Tex Cobb fight was after.
Was after, yeah.
Was it after?
Yeah.
See, there's my memory.
Tex Cobb was in.
I had to think a bit too much. You know how I remember. I think of 1980. I remember 1980, but 1982 when he fought Tex Cobb, or 83. Mm-hmm. I was in a whole different life situation. And I remember watching the fight. I remember sitting there with not good vibes. Where 1980, bro, I was fucking styling and profiling. I went to the closed circuit TV, out for a steak dinner beforehand. Didn't go out drinking afterwards because it was it was a tragic night. You know, I mean, you could hear a pin drop in that arena. Yeah. Nobody wanted their money back. Nobody was booing. I mean, Muhammad Ali just didn't. It was like Casey struck out at the bat. It didn't. Everybody was waiting for the great miracle comeback, and it just didn't happen, man. Larry Holmes, he had to be the bad guy. He had to wear the black hat that night. He didn't even want to beat up Ali. He was looking at the referee to stop the fight, man. And the referee just said nope. Ali didn't want to stop. Ali wanted to go out on his shield, man. And they stopped it between rounds. I don't know if was it between rounds. I think it was, George.
Yeah, it was between rounds. Angelo Dundee got the signal, I guess, from his manager, and he stopped the fight.
And we hear a lot of stories. And that's why it's good knowing some of these heavyweights, man. When Tim Witherspoon came up here, he told us a story about the night before with Ali in the hotel room. The fight almost didn't go on because of Ali's physical condition from taking the thyroid medication. And so and Larry Holmes, he just went on and on to next levels. Always on a ABC special like this, primetime special, or he'd be on a Saturday afternoon, Wide World of Sports. But everybody knew Larry Holmes. No pay-per-view, no HBO, no cable. This was three or four networks, and Larry Holmes was occupying one of them. So that means 25% of America was, if you're watching TV, you're watching Larry Holmes. You know?
Would love to see Larry today. Like, if you could put fighters in different eras, a guy like Larry Holmes, to see what he would do today.
I got a feeling if there was money involved, Larry would do it. I mean, you look at when he fought Mike Weaver. 20 years later, he rematched Mike Weaver and knocked him out. And
he did that with Bone Crusher Smith too. He rematched him.
And that was in June. That was in the month of June too. Bone Crusher Smith, another one who beat Mike Weaver. All those guys, they probably smile with each other, go have dinner. But Larry had to knock him out. No.
But like a guy like Usyk, that's why people say, "Oh, the heavyweights today, they're too big. These guys from back in the day wouldn't beat them." Usyk is a case in point why a guy like Larry Holmes would toy with Anthony Joshua. And I'm sorry, Larry Holmes would toy with Anthony Joshua, just like Usyk did, because Larry Holmes, that Usyk style, Larry Holmes was 10 times the fighter that Usyk is. So just because a heavyweight's big doesn't mean that they're the best. And I do agree, look, Rocky Marciano would not beat Tyson Fury. He wouldn't be in the same weight class. But Larry Holmes against Anthony Joshua and these guys, it would be no contest.
Some can. It's all so speculative, man.
Right, all of it.
Bro. I'd love to see it, and
all of it.
Yeah, I just went out and I picked up a little bud here to hit on. Yeah, baby. Got me a nice little,
Hey,
nice
hey,
little house.
Bruce. Yeah, George. Yeah, I agree. Larry would go shoe shopping with fucking Anthony Joshua's face, man. That jab would be putting Nike checks all over his damn face, and he can't even get out of the way of a jab.
Right.
Oh man. Hey, shout out to Carter, the Crocodile Hunter, man. Hey, he followed me and sub to the page. He been tapping into the morning lives, man. So
we're worldwide over here, bro. I mean, we're not limited to the United States of America. We got Australia, we got Ireland. I love it, bro. Andre, salute to you, my bro. I see you coming here. The 1-2 kid, bro. Thank you for coming in, my brother. We're just kicking back and watching some fights, man. We got the 4 of us up here. 3 of us remember Larry Holmes fighting. G5, he's a student of the game up here, bro, but he's going to be next generation. You watch in a few more years, G5's going to have a bunch of kids up here. And he's going to be talking. How the hell you got that shit? How old are you there? What are you, 50 years old, 60? You say, no.
Hey, Bruce, man, you're talking like we're all going to die in like a year or two, man. And, like we're going to be dead in 6 months and G5's going to be the only one alive.
Not me, bro. I'm going to be around for at least another 30, 40 more. But yeah, I think this fight comes to an end pretty soon, man.
You had 30, I'll be 74. So we'll be kicking it together, goddammit.
Well, you know what they tell me? They say that the more weed you smoke for the longer duration kind of preserves your insides. So you live theoretically 40, 50 years longer than you would if you didn't.
I'm sorry. I gave myself 10 extra. I'll be 64. I forgot I'm 34.
Hey, man. I was doing a little research today, man. Joe Frazier, I was, speaking of, Larry, he had a lot of influence on Larry Holmes. They never fought each other, but man, they sparred. Oh, I can only imagine those sparring sessions. And the fact, Larry Holmes, when he beat Marvis Frazier, he, as crass as Larry Holmes is, bro, you know what he said to Marvis? He says, that's for the beatings your dad used to give me. I mean, what the fuck?
Oh, a jab just dropped.
A jab, exactly, man. Not that's what I was saying. The power, the respect I got after this guy went with he went twice with Jimmy Young, and even after this, he goes 2 fights with Michael Dokes.
Right.
He gets annihilated.
I think he went 12 rounds with Holyfield.
Yeah. Who? Casio? Yeah. Right, he was a cruiserweight. Holyfield won one of his belts off him, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I relive everything here. I can't, watching this stuff. Yeah, I watched Holmes fight, but it's like I wasn't there. Yes, I was there, but it's like I wasn't. It's supposed to, whatever you want to call it. Like I was watching an old Celtics game. I'm like, wow, I can't remember this. Well, I was at the game. I don't remember it.
Oh.
That wasn't a jab.
That was a 1-2. I'm sorry, Mad Chad. That was just a 1-2 from fucking heaven right there. Go ahead, man. You got the mic.
No, that's it. Just reliving the fights. It's like watching them for the first time.
Don't tell me he got up again.
I can't believe they let it go on.
Oh, Larry just landed a fucking overhand right. That was just. It almost looked like he squared off.
That's 3 knockdowns, and Carlos Padilla is letting Ocasio go back out there.
And George, this was his first loss. You read
all. Another left. Ozzy's out.
Larry's showing off there, bro.
Well, there you go. Second title defense in the books. 7th round knockout.
Yep, and that just kind of showed me that Larry had this funky power. Hey George, I show you this shirt that I got before I put another fight on. Check this one out, man.
I only care about boxing and like maybe 3 people. I like it.
Yes,
we're the 3
people on the panel.
We're the three people. Well, of course your wife.
Yeah.
Of
There
course your
you
wife.
go. There you go.
Brucey
Who else
wore a
is
shirt
it?
from
Who else
us.
is it I meant?
Let me bang your cash app since you love your little brother. I'm a
He
little
wore a
darker, but
shirt
you
for
love your
us.
dark brother.
Oh man, Brucey. Thank you,
I'm
man.
about to bang his cash out, man.
Let
Get you
me
some new strands, man.
appreciate whatever. I never look for it. I'm always humble when somebody even mentions it because this is just so much fun for me. I should be paying everybody that comes in here. I should give them a couple of bucks just for giving me a thumbs up, man.
Well,
Because
I mean,
it's just such a
G5
blast doing this.
G5 match had he pays. Bruce is paying me. He pays you guys, right?
Yeah.
He's been paying me for
Nah.
every single one of these appearances.
He told me I gotta at least be 40. So I got 6 years of of hazing before I hit 40. So
I want one of them Texas blunts every time you come in on one of my shows.
Oh man, hell, I send you a 2-gram blunt and be like, hey, take this to the dome, Brucey.
And you know I will. Now this fight right here, bro.
Bruce.
Yes.
Could I ask George a quick question before everything gets moving on here? Just
Absolutely.
a quick take, because I don't know if we'll talk with George again until after the fights, and I know that he does have some connection with the better be of Joe Smith. Not to derail, but just real quick before I forget.
No,
George.
Not Chad. We talked about that before, but go right ahead, bro.
Oh,
because
all right. I was,
no, go, bro. This is big. Go ahead, George. Tell him. Ask him.
George, what's your take on the fight, and who do you think's going to win?
I think it's going to be a hell of a fight, an action fight. But I have to admit, and we used to, when I was at HBO, when we would be in a fighter's camp, it's kind of natural. You drink the Kool-Aid a little bit. You get attached to the fighter and the cornerman. I was in Joe Smith's camp for about a week, and his trainer is one of the nicest guys I ever met. And Joe Smith, I met his family. So, I'm rooting for Joe Smith, but Artur Beterbiev is the guy's a monster, and 17 wins, 17 knockouts. He's going to be the favorite, but he has been dropped twice, and he's been dropped against guys that don't hit as hard as Joe Smith. So they have, no matter who you have as a favorite, they have to fight the fight. So I'm rooting for Joe Smith. I don't know what's going to happen because, trust me, if I could pick fights, that's what I would do for a living. I would pick fights. But I think it's going to be a great fight, and I'll be rooting for Joe in that.
Thanks, George, because I'm rooting for Joe too. I really am. But like you say, he's facing a monster. Maybe the age, maybe he can age overnight, but he looked good his last fight. And my God, what a monster! And, real good amateur pedigree.
Yeah.
Thanks, George. Thanks, buddy.
George.
Yes, sir.
Khan said, how did Joe look in camp?
He looked great. I mean, he was in, and this is, I was in camp with him 6 weeks before the fight.
Jerry Cooney.
And he was in great shape. And that was 6 weeks ago. His weight was good. So no matter what, he's going to come into the ring in top shape. Oh, man, is this the Cooney fight? This is Cooney Holmes?
Yep.
This is
Cooney coming out in that silky green.
Bro. This is we're talking about the month of June, the month we're in right now, and this fight was on June 11th, 1982. I remember this fight so well.
40 years ago.
How many years ago was that, George?
40 years ago.
Years ago.
See?
40 years ago from.
I wasn't born yet.
Wow.
I just met my first wife. I was just kind of hooking up with her.
WBC World Heavyweight Champion. Mills Lane is the ref. Don King.
And this fight, man, had some rats. Everybody knows it had some really rotten racial overtones. But see, during this introduction here, Larry Holmes Jerry Cooney came to the ring first, followed by Larry Holmes. But when they got in the ring, they introduced Larry Holmes first, the champion, and they introduced the champion of the world, Larry Holmes, and you got to and on this corner, the All-American boy, Irishman from Long Island, New York. Everybody's All-American. I mean, it was like such bullshit.
Well, I mean,
it made you hang your head kind of.
29 knockouts.
listen, on the cover of Sports Illustrated, the week of the fight, Jerry Cooney was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. So he was on the cover of Time, I think, with Sylvester Stallone because Rocky 3 was out. So the media, it was so slanted towards Jerry Cooney, and Larry Holmes was angry. He was angry coming into this fight.
Bro, I'll tell you something. A lot of people don't know this, but Larry Holmes had to move his family out of Eastern Pennsylvania
Yeah.
because these rednecks came by and blew his mailbox apart with a shotgun, and Larry said, "Fuck this." He got he was in training for Jerry Cooney, the biggest fight of his career, and he has to worry about his family because of fuck. I mean, it was racial, and Don King. I wouldn't be surprised if Don King sent him down here to blow Larry Holmes' mailbox up because Don King loved that shit. Don King, he was trying to light the fires. Jerry Cooney did not want to be the Great White Hope. He didn't like that tag. He'll tell you in an interview today. He despised that tag, bro. But that's what Don King told him he was. And Larry Holmes, they fueled Larry Holmes as the angry black man. And Larry Holmes didn't want no part of that bullshit either, man. He wanted to fight. This was at the time the largest grossing fight in boxing, bro. I think they're both making over $10 million. It was that crazy. And at the time, that was 1982. We're talking about Sugar Ray Leonard and Hearns already fighting, Duran and Leonard. Big money fights. This was the king right here.
And Larry Holmes, right when they touched gloves, said, "Let's have a good fight." And Jerry Cooney talks about that all the time, about how that meant so much to him. That after all the back and forth, that Larry said, "Let's fight. Let's have a good fight. And that's what we're here for."
They are such good friends now. When they're together, they're just hugging each other, and man, you can see the smiles. But I knew when this fight was I'm going to say when it was a minute old, I knew Larry Holmes was going to win this fight. I bet on Jerry Cooney too, and I knew it was I knew Larry was the better fighter. Just watching him in the ring.
Jerry Cooney was prepared to make money, but he'll be the first to tell you he was not prepared to beat the heavyweight champion. He wasn't ready.
Didn't have the experience.
He fought guys that were over the hill: Kenny Norton and Jimmy Young, Ron Lyle.
Nothing like this. Nothing like this. He was spoon-fed, washed-up fighters, and he looks back in his career and he regrets not signing with Don King. If he had signed with Don instead of his loyalty with the Mike Jones and Dennis Rappaport, was that his name?
Yeah.
Yep. Jones and Rappaport and Victor Valley, who was not a world-class trainer either. So it was a career that's totally messed up. Jerry Cooney's living middle-class life today, lost millions and millions of dollars, doesn't have a mean bone in his body. He fought the demon. He fought coke, heroin, alcohol. First one to admit, he was talking to me on a show one night. I had the pleasure of talking to him, and he told me after he knocked out Ken Norton, he had a line of coke and a shot of Irish whiskey, and he didn't sober up until he fought George Foreman, until George Foreman knocked him out.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that everyone thought he was going to be a champion at some point, and he never did it. He had the misfortune of going up against one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time.
But he could have beaten. I think I saw Con Shonery say it. He could have beaten Weaver or Tate, I think.
Right, but, I agree.
But even that, I think, because I don't think he had the conditioning to do it. He never dedicated himself. He pretty much ran his camps. And Tim Witherspoon told us on here, this is no revelation. When Tim went there, Jerry Cooney is busting his sparring partner's ribs. And, Tim was like, well, what's going on? And they come to find out that they take the padding out of Jerry's gloves to give him a false of self-confidence.
Wow.
And, Witherspoon said he knew how to avoid that took. So he was fired the second day in camp because he was not going to take. He said he went in there and these guys are busted ribs and broken jaws and, all to build Cooney's self-confidence. Oh, this scoring was really bad too, man. This scoring was terrible, man.
Yeah, it was. I mean, if it went 15,
If it went
Cooney
12,
Cooney, Cooney could have won a decision. Which Jerry Cooney put up a hell of a fight, but he was losing the fight.
he was outgunned,
He
outmanned,
was losing the
outdueled.
fight.
Got the shit kicked out of him at the end. And ever since that knockdown, when he got dropped with that combination, that overhand right. And
Yeah,
this is
that's
when
coming up
Caesar's
in this
Palace-
round.
Yep. This is when Caesar's Palace used to have the fights outside.
That's something I wish I could have done. I wish I could have been around to go to one of those outdoor arenas that they would make just for the fight. That's crazy. They would do it in the parking lots, erect this big arena, and then they would take it down a few days after the fight. It must have been a cool scene to be outside like that.
EMZID, yes, true. But see, look at when Ali was 32 years old. You know, some fighters don't age as well. Larry Holmes had an extended career. Damn, he fought 52. He was still fighting. But you know, you have to rethink that, because Jimmy Young was pretty much shot at 32, bro.
Yeah, Jimmy Young wasn't the fighter he was earlier in his
Look
career.
at that beautiful. Look at
the
that.
bounce in this step, man. Look at the bounce. Oh,
Look
they
at that.
hit me.
Footwork. And,
Man, I
and
was
he
seeing
catches
it
him.
out of view.
Watch when he catches him right here, G5. He knocks Jerry Cooney down. Watch this beautiful right hand. And Cooney's got that hook, that left hook that'll knock down a wall, too. You can't take that away from him at all.
Oh, yeah, he's setting them up. He's setting them up with his jab. He's gonna catch him with some flush. It's coming.
And you know, the funny thing about this fight, Cooney was actually out jabbing Holmes in a lot of exchanges here.
Yeah, Cooney fought well for not being ready, not having the experience.
If Cooney
He had a lot of heart.
If Cooney had a right hand to match his left hand, he would have been a force to be reckoned with. But you can see he's so dependent on that left jab, left hook. But the right hand is really nothing to it, man. He hardly even throws it. And when he does, look, left hands all the time. Once Larry knows, man, you know, circle to your left, stay away from that left hook, and you'll be fine. Although Larry gets fucking hit hard in this fight, man. He earns his money. He gets some low blows. Oh, right there was one of them.
Wicked low blows. He almost got disqualified. Brutal.
I'm just waiting on that right hand.
Oh, yeah. I think it's right about now. This looks like about the angle. And Cooney, there's nothing like watching Jerry Cooney get knocked down. I mean, really. Look at it.
Oh, there it was.
He goes down. He goes down in sections. Nothing like watching Cooney get knocked down. Yeah, now that's Mills Lane. That's the dome I remember right there. That was the same guy that was doing the Holmes Cooney fight, huh?
Yeah,
I mean the Holmes Norton fight.
that was 4 years before.
Yeah, with the horseshoe, man.
Well, he back at least back then he had a little bit of fuzz going on top. But man, you know, Larry Holmes just is such a master. Cooney's just constantly trying to go to the body with that left hook, and then that's all he does. Once Larry Holmes knows how to avoid it.
Yeah, that's a problem. Plus, he got that jab, and it's quick as hell.
No, Larry was he made a believer out of me. The more I saw him, the more I knew he was going to be around for a long time. I was shocked when Michael Spinks beat him.
Boom.
Yep, look at that.
Right
Look
on
at
the
way he
chin.
goes down. Up. What's going on here? Up.
Wait a minute. Oh, my legs don't want to go.
Up. Boom.
Take a seat. All right.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I mean, picture perfect, right on the jaw.
It's like he was swimming. Oh.
Oh yeah. I saw this fight and I said to my wife at the time, I said, I lost.
Yeah.
Because
How you throw a kid in the water who can't swim?
oh man, you know, I believed in that left hook Jerry Cooney had, even to this day. That's that historically goes down as one of the hardest punches in boxing, man. One of the hardest left hooks in boxing, but he didn't do it. He had it. That was his chance to do it. He just came in ill prepared. He didn't have Plan B, and Larry Holmes was just too good that night. I don't think anybody was better than Larry Holmes. I think this was
And
Larry
they've
Holmes.
already been calling fights for a long time.
I think this is peak Larry Holmes right here.
I will give Cooney credit. Cooney didn't fall apart after the knockdown. He kept his composure, and he fought his way back into the fight. You know, a lot of guys fold the first time they face some tough times, and he didn't. To his credit.
Well, that left hand, man, that left hand is deadly. See, this is the heavyweight division where one punch ends a fight. So when you have a puncher of Cooney's capability or reputation, the fight could end any time. So it keeps you anticipated.
With these heavyweights, did you guys see on social media? Remember Julius Francis?
Oh yeah, Tyson beat him.
Yeah, did you see how he's a security guard now? Did you see it on Instagram? He knocked a guy out at it's all over Instagram and Twitter. He's a security guard, and there was an incident where this guy was causing trouble. He started to hit people. He made a step towards Julius Francis, and he got dropped with one shot. So you don't mess with a heavyweight, especially with no gloves on.
How cool is that? And did this guy? Did he come out of it? Did he end up in an emergency room or broken?
I mean, you know, on the clip, he's out. He's stretched.
Yeah,
out.
he looked dead. He looked dead.
You saw it, Matt.
He was stretch game.
He made the mistake of stepping to the wrong guy.
Especially bare knuckles too. Oh man!
Oh.
And Julian Francis was scary.
Right from the hip.
Too, man.
Hey,
he had gray hair when he was in the ring.
You going to bed?
Oh, Coney just shook Holmes up.
And then he wasn't expecting it either. He's walking up. Oh man.
Yep.
That's why you got to be careful, man. Everybody's a tough guy. You never know who you're stepping to.
Larry Holmes, man, he fought the month of June. He fought world champions. He fought Bone Crusher Smith in June. He fought Evander Holyfield in June. He fought Leon Spinks in June. He fought Mike Weaver in June. He fought Ken Norton in June. And he fought Jerry Coney in June. You think that was his favorite month? You think his wife said, "I want you out of here in the month of June"? Is that coincidental, or is that because these fighters fought so often?
They just fought all the time. I mean,
that's really a interesting little coincidence. The month of June, and you know, you reminded me of that the other day, George. You said we got Holmes and we got Cooney and Norton, and they were all like within a week. And I'm looking, I'm saying. I said, look at the other ones too. We got about 7 here, and I look at we got 8 here. I mean, he must have had that June fever bug going on. But see, Cooney's getting these rounds by these judges. Why? I don't get it, man. I had Holmes comfortably winning this fight when I was watching it.
Cover of Sports Illustrated, cover of Time magazine. They were just building Cooney up. The Great White Hope, you know, it was a big sales. Like they were behind him. And Holmes needed the knockout or to beat him convincingly.
Man, Eddie Futch, Larry Holmes' trainer.
One of the greatest ever. Hey, is your screen, Bruce, is, unless it's my computer, I can hear you, but is Bruce frozen on anyone else's?
Yeah, I might be.
Yeah, you're frozen.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear you, but you're just.
I can hear you.
You haven't moved in about 15 minutes, but we can hear you.
Struck a pose.
But yeah, Jerry Cooney just was not ready for this fight. He was worried about going the distance. That's one of the things he talks about now, that he he wasn't. He knew he wanted more fights, but his team wasn't getting him more fights, and he was worried about going 15 rounds. So he said he never went all out.
You guys can hear me, right?
Yep, perfectly.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. For some reason, my camera went off. I'll just keep. It's no biggie. Yeah, man. Larry is. He's got such a weird defense too. He's he's trying to protect his body because Cooney's landing that left hand to the ribs, and you see he's got that jab. He's got the elbow kind of in a defensive position, but yet when he throws that
nice,
jab,
right. Moving to the left, Bruce. He's staying away from that left hook.
Oh yeah.
But then when he does hold ground, he's waiting to counter with that overhand right. Oh.
Yeah, Cooney knows he can't take the power of that, so Cooney has to be careful. He has to make sure his hands are up too. But I noticed, man, Cooney is really he's out jabbing Holmes in a lot of this fight. See right there?
Yeah. Cooney really he fought as well as he could, and
yep.
I remember after this fight just thinking, well, he's gonna get his chance. I think everyone almost assumed that Jerry Cooney at some point he's going to be heavyweight champion, and then he drugs and alcohol, that was his downfall, and he never did it.
No, he turned down $1 million. He could have fought John Tate, and then he turned down $1 million to fight Mike Weaver, and he just he just rocked Holmes with that left hook. Holmes could take a punch though, couldn't he? Huh? Oof.
Yeah, he could.
But I remember this fight being postponed a lot too. Cooney.
Yeah, it was supposed to be in March, and I think Cooney had a shoulder injury or something, so it was pushed back to June. There's a great HBO when they did the Legendary Night series that I was lucky enough to work on. This was one of the better shows. The Tale of Holmes and Cooney. It was really good, and it's out there on YouTube somewhere. It's definitely worth watching.
I remember after this fight, they this wasn't shown on live television. This was pay-per-view. At the time, it was weird. It was like a satellite pay-per-view system they had. But anyway, they showed this fight like a week later on Wide World of Sports, and it was a prime time Wide World of Sports too. And they had all the judges. Do you remember that? The judges, after every round, all judges explained why they scored the round, why they did. Mostly aggression, power, command, ring generalship. But Cooney, I believe if this was a 10-round fight, Cooney would have won it. And even a 12-round fight, it was real close. Larry Holmes did not get the judges. He didn't get the judges' eye for, they, like you said, Mad Chad, cover of Time Magazine, The Great White Hope, Chevrolet, Mom's Apple Pie, 25,000 people cheering for him. Crazy shit, bro. I mean, this was really they tried they made this was a black against white fight. Don King, he tried to get every dollar out of this to make it racially motivated. He tried to get Jerry Cooney Jerry admitted that he said that on the show before. Don King offered him a big amount of dollar to use the N-word to describe Larry Holmes, and he wouldn't do it. He said no way. And it was a crazy amount, crazy amount of money, but he that's the way he was. Don King tried to make this fight into just open different markets everywhere, and Cooney was he was a victim of boxing, and drugs too. He was fucked up. He didn't really know. He didn't know what was going on.
This fight had so much animosity going in that they had the FBI. They had sharpshooters on the high rises around the stadium just in case something crazy happened at ringside. It was, I mean, again, in my time, it's the most racially charged fight that I've ever seen or remember the build up for.
Crazy shit, bro. Crazy shit. Oh, Larry seems to me like he's in charge of this fight, but Jerry Coney.
Carl Hunter Hansen said, "Did anyone else cry when?" Let me see. He said, "Did anyone else cry when Floyd gave his Hall of Fame speech?" That
Not
really
me.
touched me.
Fucking cow.
I don't think Floyd Mayweather will ever make me cry, but it was very heartfelt. I mean, and it was nice to see that it really meant something to him.
How could it not, though, man? That Hall of Fame. That's I said it the other day. That's the Mecca. That for the Catholic people that they would go to the Vatican. That's what the Hall of Fame has to me, to a true boxing fan. You go to the Hall of Fame, and if you're not moved, then bro, you better get your pulse checked before you go home.
Yeah, Mike Tyson was emotional when he was when he got into.
Sure, how could he
So
not
it
be?
means something.
Oh.
And it should mean something to these fighters. I wish there's some fighters I think that deserve to be in there. That hey, maybe that could be a show. Maybe that's a
So
show we do.
emotional.
Fighters that should be in the Hall of Fame that aren't. But yeah, it's nice to see all those guys get together, and all you saw on social media was just clips of this fighter and that fighter together, and just these fighters spending time with each other. It's very cool. And this
See,
one was long overdue.
Hagler, he didn't go to many. He didn't go make many. Excuse me. He didn't go make too many speeches or appearances, but he always went to the Hall of Fame,
Yep.
the induction ceremony, every year since he retired from boxing, and
Yep.
also I forgot what else I was going to say. I'll think of it in a sec. Go ahead.
Another Cooney round. Wow.
Boy, Dwayne Ford, he's a big Cooney guy in this fight.
I know what I was going to say about that, George. About people that haven't gotten inducted. I think that's why the state Hall of Fames are really important.
Yeah.
And that's why I back them as much as I can. The New Jersey Hall of Fame, the New York, the Connecticut. They have Las Vegas, Florida. Because there's a lot of memorabilia out there that the Hall of Fame in New York. I think they have warehouses and all kind of stuff that's in vaults, because they just don't have the room to display it. They have to be rotating their displays. So these state Hall of Fames, they're just a good idea. And I mean, the more visibility that these fighters can get, and the more acceptability. Buildings that actually people can go into and see these things and touch these things. That's what I'd like to see, man.
Yeah.
But the Mecca, the Hall of Fame, man, Canastota, New York, that place that's on my bucket list.
Yeah. Cooney's starting to get busted up a little. Looks like his eye. He's starting to feel those jabs and right hands. But he's still pressing. He's coming forward, still trying to go to the body.
And Larry is weary. Larry knows what that left hook feels like, and he's caught it on the hips.
Carl Hansen says I can't wait for Trevor Bryan to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's going to be waterworks everywhere.
Oh, you know it, man.
Trevor Bryan, yeah. Shocking to see him get destroyed.
I look at that and knowing Don King, the way I've seen him throughout the years, I don't know if he's mellowed with age, but I don't think he totally lost his little string to the heavyweight division. I think he may have signed Daniel Dubois to a few fights after giving him Trevor Bryan. And I just don't think Don King's going to go out with a whimper like Trevor Bryan did.
Right on, Bruce. I like it. I like it.
You're gonna see him at the Daniel Dubois fights with the flags, and like he was at the Trevor Bryan fight. He'll be there. Oh,
91 years old.
hey, Bob Arum, he's still traveling around. Don King's looking at him and saying, "Shit, I'll go slap him."
What I don't get, Don King never. Obviously, was one of the biggest promoters. Ooh, Cooney just got rocked again.
Oh, Jerry spaghetti legged.
Wow. And he can't hold on. Larry won't let him hold on.
He can't. He's trying to grab him. Grab him, Jerry.
Larry won't let him. Oh,
his fist not even clenched anymore.
Oh, Jerry.
Oh. Boy, he just threw a triple left hook, though.
Wow.
He threw a triple left hook at the end of that round.
Yep, that was pure instinct.
Wow. Ooh, good body shot.
Yep, those are the rib breakers.
Not shot.
The second one was a low blow. But that first right hook to the body was, ooh.
Thundering fucking Larry's poor balls. Oh, my gosh.
Yep, this fight was known for days. They were just talking about the low blows.
He just did the dance. Cooney's legs did the dance.
Almost Galata-ish.
You know, bro, I was just going to say Andrew Galata. Like you said, like we were just saying, he just couldn't control himself. Seriously. He was warned. How many times is he going to get warned in this fight for low blows?
Right.
We're not even in the 6th or 7th round yet. Yeah, we're in the 6th. That was the 6th round. They're giving
good job, Ford. Good job, Ford. He was shook almost a 10-8 round. Dave, am I ready?
God, isn't one of these guys still judging? One of these guys, is it Moretti?
I think it's Moretti because all three of these were like the hottest judges at the time.
Crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I was like, Dave Moretti been judging for a long time. Man, still judging.
And then they get slinging a shovel around all day, bro. I'll take that job till till after stop. Look at
my favorite judge is Timmy Cheatham. I like the Cheatham judge.
That's front row every time. Lord.
Oh, this fight! Everybody was at this fight. We got Farrah Fawcett. I mean, Hollywood was there, bro. Johnny Carson, Sly Stallone. I mean, you just look at the freaking front row here. Diana Ross. I mean, you had fucking everybody.
Oh, I see Bob Dylan, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he was there.
They had a phone line. They had a phone line set up in Cooney's locker room for Ronald Reagan to call. Ronald Reagan, who was president at the time, was going to call and congratulate Cooney on becoming.
But I heard that was bullshit. New York Times published a rumor that was just folklore. That never really happened. That was just started by Don King to light a little fire, you know. That's what I heard, man. And I read it. I didn't hear it. I read it. So
next time you talk to him, Bruce, you can ask him.
True. I already forgot what the question would be.
Did you have a phone in your locker room to call the president?
Yeah. The hotline. Yeah, because that was a rumor. And like I said, I read recently the New York Times squashed that. They put out.
We know you had an 8-ball and a pint of whiskey, but
I was beyond the 8 balls in '82, bro. That was my late '70s bullshit.
No, I'm talking Jerry.
Oh, Jerry did. Yeah, I was more into the Percocets and the Chianti and the chocolate tie back in this day. The Toker 2 was there too, bro. The Toker 2 will tell you some stories about this fight. Oh yeah. See, Cooney is not stopping with that sweeping left hook. He's just trying to land it low, high, and that's all he has, man. The right hand, nothing. Right hand. And Larry gets inside, smuggles him up, man. Holds him, doesn't let him throw on the inside. So he's throwing those wide arcing punches. But then when I said it, all of a sudden Jerry gets that jab going. All of a sudden, look at that, man. Oh, was there a low blow there? I'll have to see that again in slow motion. Damn, Cooney's just getting. I don't know, man. I would give that round 10-9 to Larry Holmes.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, another fucker. Oh, that hurt just seeing it, and that's his most powerful punch.
Ooh.
Oh.
Larry's got balls of steel.
Wow, somebody gave that round to Dave Moretti.
Ow. Dave Moretti.
Whoa,
Wow.
Jerry Roth.
Wow. What are they seeing?
The fight was within 1 or 2 points on all judges' cards.
Dave, two of them, Jerry and Dave Moretti. Yeah.
Jerry Roth and Dave Moretti. Yep.
Dave Moretti. 2-10-9 round. Okay. I was like, I'm looking at the screen like, am I that high? I don't think so.
Get this smoke. Salute, brother.
Cooney did have a nice jab. I'll give him that.
Demetrius Bright, salute, my brother. That wrecking ball left, he's just trying that, and like Larry's just keeps circling to his left, tries to stay away from that punch. And
I like it again, Bruce. Same gloves. Same gloves.
Yeah, that bullshit didn't start till the last few years, man. I never saw that before until we started getting into
Weird. Yeah.
The fighters of today. The different.
Now they look like different weapons almost at times. They look like a totally different glove. I'm like, what the fuck?
They look at different. They look different sizes and everything, man.
Yeah, Larry was taking him out in those deep waters before he drowned him. We used to say he'd get him drunk before he mugged him.
Yep, that's what. Yeah, man. But man, Cooney's landing. It's incredible how many punches that Cooney's landing in this round too.
Yeah.
It seems like Larry's hurting him more with his punches, but Cooney's got that destructive weapon, and Larry just doesn't want to get hit with that anymore. He's been whacked to the ribs, to the nuts, to the hips, to the head.
Cooney tried to win this fight. He fought well at times.
Oh, he was fucked up for years after this fight. That's why I said he was heavy into hooked on drugs, alcohol. He thought he let America down. All his friends bet their houses basically on him.
Well, for 2 years, all he did was apologize. He didn't fight. He just kept saying, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry."
Exactly.
Although we didn't know. Ooh, we didn't know at the time that he was battling all those demons. Ooh. See, it's funny. Look at this. They're going, and Cooney's taking these right hands now, whereas he got dropped in the second. He's taking the shots and he's firing back.
Fucking Johnny Carson.
Yeah, oh yeah, everybody's there, man. Like I said, that was the place to be in the country. If you had the dough, you that's what that. Oh,
Oh, oh,
and
right.
Cooney,
Cooney didn't have much in his right hand, did he, Bruce? He really
no,
just
no,
didn't.
no.
He
That
was
was
all left. Oh,
no. Like I said, if he had a left hand like a right hand like his left hand, he would have been a dangerous individual.
mm,
He would have been something really really special. But he was a converted
this
southpaw.
fucking Ford guy had money on fucking Cooney.
He was so hyped, and Hal Holmes was the betting
Already.
favorite in this fight too. You if you
Wow.
bet Cooney, you got odds betting Cooney too. I don't remember what the odds were, but it
Good
made it
job,
enticing.
Jerry.
Yeah, see a lot of these judges they didn't. You don't see a lot of them agree on the same rounds in this fight. So there's a lot of controversy there. It's like what round were you watching? What round were you watching? That's why judging. How can we still accept that? There's got to be a better way. The only sport where humans behind a fucking pad and pencil decide the outcome of it.
And no one knows the score to the end.
And it'll never change.
Love to have a baseball game. You watch the whole game, and then the other team scored more runs, but fucking comes out and they go, "No, you lost 10-7." We scored more runs.
Get somebody like Michael Buffer in there. We have a unanimous decision. Everybody shuts up.
Like last night, the Celtics didn't lose. Like if the refs at the end of the game said, "No, the Celtics won," I'd be like, "Fucking right, I'm happy with that, Robbery." Fucking everybody would be talking to. Boxing, we just live with it.
Oh, Cooney just landed a nice left hook once again to the body. Kind of made Holmes do a little two-step there.
Yeah, Cooney's a big dude too, coming towards you.
But he's getting pieced the fuck up. Oh.
Yeah, Larry's landing those the punches that just look more effective, but Cooney's landing those body punches. But Cooney's landing those body thuds and those nut shots that are doing some.
Yeah, he's landing those fucking nut shots. Fuck.
Yeah, 1-2 to the nuts. That's gonna do something to you.
Here comes another one.
Oh, he doubles him over pretty soon. Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, he needs some time to regather himself.
Yeah, a couple of times he doubles him right.
Oh, it's fucking awful. It's Galata-ish.
I thought there was going to be a DQ.
Yep.
Mills Lane, go ahead. Come on, guys. It's amazing how he's so small and he can keep control of those two giants.
If that would have been the other way around, Holmes would have got disqualified long before the fucking.
Look.
Oh.
You know they're going to show that a few more.
Oh, give him some time.
Holmes was looking down there. Oh, he's like, oh.
Those hurt too. I feel fucking nauseated.
If that was Ken Buchanan, the fight would be over. And Cooney, that would be the Roberto Duran, the new lightweight champion. Although that was considered a low blow, so if he can't continue.
Oh, he's digging deep. He's digging that nut shot. Oh. That's disqualification, Jerry. Dirty fighter.
There's Ray Arcel in the corner with Larry.
Yep.
Fucking Panama Lewis.
So.
Oh, that's a dirty blow. Come on. He knew that a mile away. Big fucking stupid Irish goon. They should have disqualified him. Fuck Jerry Cooney. He's dirty. How many? What was that? His fifth one?
Yeah, pretty much. He got away with. I mean, Larry Holmes was bitter for a while after this fight. He's like, I didn't know if I could have kids after this fight. He was seriously,
yeah.
He took those nut shots personally.
Oh God, I'm surprised they're friends.
Stole the family.
I don't know if I
jewelry.
could have let that go.
Yeah, but I don't know how. I don't know. Oh, look at he looks like he almost. If Holmes wasn't moving right there, he would have got caught again.
Yeah, that's blatant. One time, two times, you kind of maybe, but you start digging low like this. Whoa! Oh.
That wasn't even that low right there.
That wasn't low.
No, that was belt line. That was a legal shot.
Yeah, that was a legal shot. That was legal. What are you looking at, Mills?
Well, I guess that was a makeup for all the ones he missed.
That was a makeup.
And now this one.
Oh!
That one, that should have been a 2-pointer right there.
Damn, man, that shit hurt. Oh, man.
Oh, that hurts me. Oh, G5.
Lord.
Oh.
Bottom of the balls.
9, 10.
What? How was that? There was a point deduction, though. So, okay. Wait, what?
A 2-point deduction.
What?
Yeah, there was a 2-point deduction.
Did I take the 2 points up?
Watch, this score's going to change. Oops, see?
So the one before, the one that was a clean shot.
Couldn't have the volume on, but what the judges, I remember this, what the judges were saying was,
they all had a win in that round.
Yeah. All judges say, I gave the round 10-9 to Jerry Cooney, but with the deduction, the 2-point deduction, the round is 9-8 for Larry Holmes. And yep, all those nut shots cost
Wow,
him
2 of them
point.
have it fucking even. Wow. What the fuck am I watching?
Man, it's gonna make me roll another blunt. I can't believe they got it a draw, man.
This is the disrespect Larry Holmes got throughout his whole fucking career, bro. Larry Holmes was just a fucking second-rate champion. People never gave him the respect he deserved.
Right.
Even fucking when he fought Ray Mercer. Ray Mercer thought he was gonna have a cakewalk with him.
Oh, another one, I think. That was a questionable nut shot.
Oh, there's a lot. Ray Mercer said to him in the middle of the fight, in the middle of a combination, "I ain't Tommy Morrison." Larry Holmes was he was a bitter man all the way. He never let a fucking insult go unanswered. Mad Chad, you remember you were telling me to try to call guys like Larry Holmes up?
Yeah, yeah.
I was looking around into Larry Holmes. He does a podcast. That's what of course, everybody does one, but he does one. And somebody told me they tried to get his brother to go on a podcast with them, and Larry Holmes intervened, and he wouldn't let his brother go on without a fucking fee. So he's a businessman all the way. Larry Holmes' his brother, and he wanted to step in and make the podcast and everything up. So Larry's I don't think he'd answer the phone. I don't think he'd answer a text.
Well, you never know.
That's true. You never do know. And I'm going to try it because that's a good idea. That's the only way to that's what we want to do, bro. Get on here, hit the Toker 2, keep the fights going on, talk to somebody who's been on the
Would have been nice if Cooney swung by. We could say, Jerry, were you intentionally trying to fucking, denut this guy?
Well, I know an indirect way to get in touch with Cooney, so I'll give it a shot. I'll see if he wants to come on and talk to us, man. I've been on a couple of panels with him.
Yeah, that was cool. You guys
Bruce,
had a good rapport.
I have his number. I have Cooney's number.
Oh.
Have you ever spoken to him, George?
I interviewed him less than a year ago for a show that I was working on, and I have his number. I've never called him.
I know. I wouldn't want anybody to give anybody my number, but if you don't mind giving him a text, tell them I've been on panel. I don't know, man. But if you want to just shoot him a text and give him my number or give him my email, whatever, bro.
Yeah, I can do that.
It would be awesome to talk to the big Irishman online, especially when we do this fight.
Got a ton of heart. My God, he could take a punch. Oh.
And land one too. Look at these still.
Oh.
Boom. Uppercut, left hook.
Yeah.
And man, Holmes just looks so good coming out of that.
Another Cooney round.
Another
These
Cooney
guys
round.
are crazy.
But see, these judges are explaining themselves right now. We don't want to do that because that's where they whack you. I was on Jay Blues last night, and he was showing a guitar player. I think it was. Let me see. I'll think of it in a second, and I know who it is.
Gilmore.
The blues with you.
Gilmore. Doug Gilmore.
Well, anyway, they just zapped him. Did you see that last night?
Yeah. Then they put it right back on, though. Then he was playing something else without the video.
I told him. I was in the chat room telling him. I said, they did that to you, Jay. Don't worry about it. Your stream is still live. But keep talking and just take that down. And what's happened to you before? It's happened to me before. We know our limitations. We know what we can get away with. It's for educational and entertainment purposes. It's covered under the 1976 YouTube Communications Act, and it's for like I said, we don't own any copyrights to it. Anybody that think we're infringing on, if they copyrights, you're entitled to any royalty that this channel.
You just hit him again, nuts.
God bless you.
You just hit him again in the nut.
This is amazing. I mean, Andrew Galata got disqualified for less.
Almost like a chat. Yeah, good. We took a lot of heat for it after. That probably wouldn't be a good subject to bring up, maybe.
I don't know. You never know, man, because life is life, and hey.
That might have had something to do with his drug problems. He probably had a lot of remorse for fucking, pounding the guy's balls in.
I wouldn't doubt it. And he thought he let the country down. He thought he let his neighborhood down, his friends down, everybody, everybody that was riding with him.
That was the excuse he was using, but we know what the deep hurt was, that Larry could never have a kid again. He gelded. He turned a huss into a gelding.
That's what Larry was indirectly hinting at, that. Like I said, man, they had this show on ABC a few weeks after this fight because, man, communications was so bad back then. I found a magazine article, and it had the Cooney and Holmes fight in there, and this fight was in August, and Ring Magazine didn't have it until their September issue. So it was 3 months from when you got a publication of this fight. No internet, no. Once again, they're giving them another warning. How many warnings do you get?
Fucking crazy. Oh, another one.
He slowed down, but no, you're right. The jab is effective. It's like a 2x4. Somebody just pumping it at you. Well, let's go 4x4.
Yeah, Cooney's coming to the end. I mean, at this point, the last few rounds, he starts to really take some punishment.
Yeah, he definitely unravels.
Third point deduction. The third point.
That was a double. That was a freaking double.
Double uppercut to the balls.
Okay, let's see.
Get him up! Get him up! I can hear Mia Lane. Get him up!
Yeah.
Get him up, Jerry.
10-8 with that point. And 10-9, change it to a 10-8. Same thing. At least they got this one right. But it's just it's, how many fouls can you possibly get? This has to be a record. You know, it probably was only freaking. It probably broke a record that was like a 1901 or some fucking thing like that. You know, Jack Dempsey or something.
Wow. Well, Jerry Roth is the only one, and he has him up by 5, but that's with 3 point deductions. So, without those point deductions, Cooney's winning this fight.
Unbelievable.
Jerry Cooney would be up on 2 cards.
Yep, unbelievable. And they bitch about judging today.
There's no accountability. You know, I mean, these judges. What happens to them when they score? Now, I think at least some of the I don't know if they're suspend. I don't even think they suspend a judge when they have a bad night.
I think they did with that Minnesota judge. Maybe something came of that. The Fox fight. I think something came.
Salute, bro. Yeah, you know, I saw that. I saw Michael Francesi. He testified that he bet on Larry Holmes, and why? Because he knew the fight was fixed. And you're right, bro.
No offense to Mr. Franzese,
hey,
but I
judges, I think they need to go to jail, man. They fuck up. You messing with somebody
rigged by the judges.
Real legacy over points on the judging part, man. Go sit in the cell for 90 days or something like that and think about it. No, you got to do the whole 90. You got to sit in there. You know what I'm saying? It should be some type of penalty, bro. That's it. Some of the cards that we see now, I mean, even this is crazy. I had to sit up. Like, come on, man. This is absurd judging.
Yeah, they just get away. You know, you're right. They mess with fighters' careers. You know, you cost a fighter a championship, you cost a fighter money, they might never recover from a bad decision.
Shout out 86 Boxing, bro. Thanks for coming by, man. Watching the some of the Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes was he was the June bride. He had so many fights in the month of June. I think it was 7 last count, maybe even 8 world title fights, or one with a former world champion. But it seemed like the month of June, and this was a huge fight. I mean, this had so many different fucking so many things that were talked about in this fight. This tore the country apart. Time magazine. I mean, this was you know, it was brutal. This was a crazy time to be a boxing fan, man. The fight itself, we're looking at it right now. We're looking at judges scoring rounds for Jerry Cooney that he clearly lost, and Cooney throwing these fucking monster low blows and not getting disqualified yet. And Larry Holmes, I mean, I said it before, no heavyweight was going to beat Larry Holmes on this night. This was the night that he peaked.
Yeah, this fight was everything that was bad about boxing, with the build up and everything. But when it came down to it, minus the low blows, you know, these two guys went at it, and they fought a hard fight, a rugged fight. And that Larry Holmes proved it, that he was the better fighter, despite what the judges saw that night.
Well, they got this round right.
So right now, Dwayne Ford Moretti would have Cooney up by 1.
And there's still 3 rounds to go.
So after 12, Cooney was up on the scorecards, minus the 3 low blows, the 3-point deduction.
Hard to believe, man.
At this point, Cooney's just pushing that right hand. Not much on his jab. much on his left hook.
Yeah, Cooney shoulder punching now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Holmes knows it.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Uh-oh. They said it was like 115, 120 degrees ringside for this fight. Looks like that satellite keeps going out.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, Cooney's face is getting turned into hamburger here.
Oh, man.
It's hot. Yeah, well, this fight's not long. Oh. That's it. Not another punch will be thrown. Watch his manager
Victor
run in
Valley
there.
comes into the ring.
This fight actually ended on a disqualification, which it should have, but it actually goes in the books as Jerry Cooney disqualified for outside interference. So that was almost like a fit ending, you know, for a very bizarre fight. Very I don't know what we can say about it, but man.
Look, it came down to the better fighter won, despite the judges, despite the low blows, and it was a good fight. You can't take away anything from Jerry Cooney. Jerry Cooney clearly was not the better fighter, but he tried to win the fight, and he took him to the 13th round, and he tried to win, but Larry Holmes was in his prime, and Larry Holmes, as we know now, he's one of the greatest heavyweights in the history of the sport.
Sure was, and he was the June bug, man. He was. Maybe we can find a quick one to get us out of here, man, for our last one. Give me a Larry Holmes fight, George.
Well, if you want a quick one,
it doesn't have to
you
be a
can go
quick
to-
one, man.
Marvis Frazier's a quick one, obviously.
You want to see him? You want to see him fight Marvis?
That's one round. He was devastating against Leon Spinks. Mad Chad, his phone died. He says to hit the like and subscribe.
All right, Mad Chad. I'm sorry to hear that, my brother. Thank you for coming on here. We're gonna watch one more fight here, for the love of Larry Holmes. Here, we're gonna watch the Larry Holmes at one of his most brutally excellent, decisive finishes, where Joe Frazier wanted his son. Well, he didn't want his son. Joe Frazier, of course, he wanted his son to win the fight. But this was probably the biggest mismatch we've ever seen in boxing history. One of the biggest mismatches. See, Larry Holmes, he fought a lot of young fighters with early in their careers, where they really had no business in the ring with him. Although Tim Witherspoon, I mean, he only had 14 fights, and he was brought in there to fight Larry Holmes. So Larry was an enigma, a crazy guy to watch. But one thing I got to say about Larry Holmes, he ruled the heavyweight division from 1978 until 1985 to that crazy loss to Michael Spinks, and the rematch even crazier. But let's watch Larry Holmes against Joe Frazier's son Marvis.
Frazier was 10-0, had no business being in the ring, but Frazier had beat a couple of decent heavyweights in his career. Was not ready to. He never would have been ready to be in the same ring as Larry Holmes.
This was Thanksgiving night, if I remember.
I know this was on prime time at night. I remember watching this.
Mm-hmm. It was either the night before, the night of, or the night after, but it was Thanksgiving weekend. They used to do that once in a while. They give us a treat like that. But look at Marvis. He's trying to look like Joe in there. He's trying to be like his dad, weaving and bobbing, blasting with that left hook. Come up, Marvis.
He didn't have nearly the power that his dad had. Frazier was a good boxer, but Joe tried to turn him into a carbon copy of Joe Frazier, and you can't do that. Oh, good night.
Yeah, see, Larry's showing compassion. He's telling the referee, "Stop this fight. I'm going to hurt this kid." How much more compassion can you be than that? Look, that's Larry said, "Okay, if that's what you want me to do," because I'm sure Mills Lane said, "Turn around and finish this fight." And then the incredibly brutal Larry Holmes, his wife Diane, and Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier, man, that's one thing that I think the city of Philadelphia should hang their head in shame, man. They let the Joe Frazier Museum be raised. That was a hallowed place. That was basically a shrine, and that's where Joe Frazier lived and died. And Joe Frazier was only 66 when he died. People don't know Floyd Mayweather paid for his funeral.
Well, Larry Holmes is still with us. He was 69 wins, 6 losses, 44 knockouts in his Hall of Fame career.
Yep, and the only loss that he had in a non-title fight was the one that he had with Brian Nielsen. All Larry Holmes' losses were him trying to regain the heavyweight championship of the world.
Right.
Which, man, like I said, the best way to end it is like we started it, bro. I mean, for 7-8 years, man. I'm sorry. 7-8 years. That was the heavyweight division was ruled by one man.
Yep. He was the best fighter, best heavyweight of his day.
No flash in the pan. He came around after Muhammad Ali, and he came around. Mike Tyson came around right after Larry Holmes, but with that gap between Ali and Mike Tyson, Larry Holmes was the man. I hope we entertain a little bit of people here, because I know it entertained me just talking about him, man.
Yeah, great fighter, and just with these dates, 40 years, 44 years since Norton, 40 years since Cooney. Great fighter, and it's awesome that you can just get on YouTube and you can watch all these fights. They're right there.
Yep, and we can talk about them too, just like we're at the barbershop or we're at the bar, or we don't have to worry about anything. We shut this off. We go our separate ways, and man, how much better can it get? Did you ever think boxing was going to get this good, bro?
Hey, Bruce. We've still got like 9 more hours to go. So
and it would not be hard. It would not be
That's the thing.
hard to
One
do
fight
it
would
all.
lead to another, would lead to another, would lead to another.
Yep. And we talk about him, and I mean, just the opponents Larry had, like like Ozzy Ocasio. You look at his resume, it's like what? I don't think there was a heavyweight in the last from Lennox Lewis on down to Larry Holmes that he didn't fight.
Yeah, I knew who Ocasio was, especially because he was a really good cruiserweight champ, but I had no idea he fought all those killers at heavyweight.
All of those killers, and that light heavyweight. I mean, at cruiserweight. He was. I mean, it's the beauty of boxing. I love doing it. It feels like that we're still keeping maybe that sacred fire going a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
G5, we're gonna get out of here, bro. You want to say anything, man? I know you're gonna be on. I hope tomorrow morning when I get up, my brother.
Oh yeah, man. I'll be up and at it, getting it going, getting the morning started. If everybody in chat having sub, hey, go ahead and hit that sub button. We'll get the morning talk going, boxing, and then we'll just go with the flow of things, man. But great show as usual. Shout out to Mad Chad, my brother George Jack, of course, my OG brother Bruce Gold, aka Bruce Gas. Shout out to the chat. Y'all make the show, man, very interactive. We appreciate y'all every week. Y'all follow me, G5_Gabe, YouTube, Instagram. And until next week, we out of here.
George, my brother. Let them know where they can find you, my man. My camera's still not working, so they can't even see my beautiful face. They're just gonna have to
that makes me sad. You should, next time we do one of these shows with fights from the 80s, you have to pull out some of that old gear, some of the big collars. You have to rock some of that for these fights. I think that will be a great show.
I did a lot of extracting of my closets the past few months or so, and I'd have to go to Goodwill and see if they have any of those.
I'll bet you if you dig deep, you can find something. But look, man, I love every.
I don't know, George. Maybe Halloween is coming up in a few more months. We'll see what's going on there, bro. But I don't know, man. Most of those clothes have kind of like it's from those disco bouncers that used to grab me by the scuff of the neck and buy those pants or those disco suits, bro, and the wide collar, the lapels. I don't know, man. I'll see what I can do, but I wouldn't make book on it.
Well, look, Tuesdays. Let's keep this going. It's great to talk about what's going on now in the sport. It's great to shine a light on some of the great fighters from yesterday, and tonight is one of the greatest fighters in the history of the sport that we talked about, Larry Holmes. So, what's better than Tuesday night boxing and talking Larry Holmes and having Mad Chad and G5 and you? Come on.
Well, tell them where they can get a hold of you, bro.
I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. One Round with George. You'll find some good stuff, and we're on here because we love to talk boxing, and that's what we do, and we're gonna keep doing it.
You know it, my brother, man. Thank you so much for joining me this evening.
Absolutely.
I thank you all for stopping in here, man. Mad Chad, G5, George, man. Tuesday night fights, man. George came up with this idea. I was gonna talk about fighters that stayed at the dance too long. I had a little show plan on that, and George says, that's cool, but if you want to do something a little more uplifting, and yeah, absolutely, something a little more uplifting. And he started mentioning Larry Holmes, and he mentioned the Cooney fight and the Norton fight. And I said, yeah, and I said, I remember he fought Leon Spinks during this month, and he fought. I started looking through my his record and box rec, and I'm saying, shit, man, all these guys in the month of June. We're in the month of June. How much more relevant is it than doing that. So I'm glad we could do that for a show. Had some good shit going on, bro. I appreciate you guys coming in here, man. My camera's been frozen in the, see now. Is it no see no, I still got that blank. I don't know if it's a blank screen to you guys, but it's me kind of frozen there. Yeah, see, it won't even come back. It just comes on blank. So anyway, man, Bruce Gas over here, man. Thanking you all so much for coming in here, man. Sub to One Round with George, sub to G5 Gabe, sub to Mad Chad's Tavern, bro. All good stuff. I appreciate you for coming in here, man. Peace. I'm out of here.